Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Hatsuko Mary Higuchi. I was born in 1939 on the eve of World War II. Executive Order 9066 destroyed my family's life. We were sent to Poston, Arizona, a concentration camp on the Colorado River Indian Reservation. Like Manzanar, it was desolate. When we arrived, we saw rows and rows of black tar paper barracks, surrounded by barbed wire, soldiers with guns. The day we arrived, it was 126 degrees. Our room was small. The cots were lined up side by side. There was only one bare light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Latrines, showers, and laundry rooms were in distant buildings. There was no privacy. My mother bathed my baby sister and brother in the laundry room sink. Our clothes were hand-washed. I remember clothes hanging on a rope, strung across our room, with water dripping onto the floor. My mother had to do this because of the severe dust storms. After the war ended, we returned with nothing except my parents' determination to rebuild our lives. We lived in an old wooden shack. My parents rented farmland in Lawndale. When we started public school, our Japanese names were difficult for the teachers to pronounce, and we were given American names. Hatsuko became Mary. We were poor. We took our lunches to school in brown paper bags and used them until they fell apart. At lunchtime, I was so embarrassed. I unwrapped my sandwich under the table. My little sisters and I took public transit to Saturday Japanese language school. One day, a woman got on the bus, and when she saw us, she started yelling, "Get these Japs off the bus. They don't belong here." We were frightened and started crying. In fourth grade social studies, we read about the war with Japan. I remember crying because I felt I was the enemy. I felt guilty, ashamed, and inferior. My parents farmed from 1946 to 1951 until they saved enough money to put a down payment on 10 acres of farmland in Torrance. Soon after that, my father died of heart failure. I learned that 40% of the incarcerated males died before reaching the age of 60. When my father died, he was only 45. My mother, who was 10 years younger, made a brave decision to not give up the farm. She decided to farm the 10 acres herself while single-handedly raising 4 small children. The years of incarceration were never discussed in my family, nor in elementary, middle, and high school. Not even at UCLA. I took my mother to Poston, came home and did a painting of guard towers and barracks, and I asked her what she thought. She sat there quietly, studying the painting, and her expression turned to great sadness. She said, "In camp, not a day went by without wondering, what's going to happen to my children? What will become of them?" She didn't want to talk about the camps, and when I forced the issue, with tears in her eyes, she said, "Please, hanashitakunai, hanashitakunai. Hatsuko, I don't want to talk about it." I I pleaded, Oka-san, kodomo no tame ni, please, for the sake of the children and grandchildren, we need to know. My mother suffered a stroke in 2008. We took her home when there was no hope. I felt honored and privileged to take care of her after all her years of sacrifice for the sake of the children, kodomo no tame ni. Like so many Nikkei families, the toll on our Nisei parents and Issei grandparents was terrible. Because of them, we survived. But to what extent we fully recovered is another question, which I leave to our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Satsuki Ina. Thank you.